Back more Avatar The Last Airbender. This is episode 20 of season 1, part 2 of the 2-part finale. So, season finale time, basically. Very excited to see how they're ending off this season, how/if they set up the future as well. And is there going to be like an immediate tease for what to expect from season 2, even beyond that? So we still have like the big threat of like the asteroid that's supposed to like reignite the Fire Nation or something along those lines. I can't quite remember all the details. But the big trouble right now to deal with, I suppose, is the Fire Nation attacking and everything going on with that. Zuko has kidnapped Aang as well, but Aang's a bit busy right now in the spirit world, so is he going to be able to navigate his way back, and is he going to learn from the spirit world what they need to win this battle right now? And if he, even if he does, he's not going to be there to do anything about it or tell anyone how to win, because Zuko. So we'll see what happens with all of that. But I've really loved the journey that I've gone on so far with the show. With this first season, it's been incredibly strong, and I'm sure they'll go out on quite a high note as well, because I really loved the first half of this, and I imagine we're going to be wrapping up a few things, setting up some things as well, and there was a lot of kind of big action set pieces in the last episode. I'm sure there'll still be some here as well, but I feel like there's going to be some cool character stuff, which the show also very much excels at every single time. So I'm excited. Hopefully you guys are excited as well to wrap up this first season. And yeah, let's get into it.
It's alright. You stay here, Momo, in case Aang comes back.
Yep.
Momo's going to save the day.
Go away.
Oh. Nice to meet you too. Oh god. I mean, it's just all going wrong for everyone, really, isn't it? This is why you deal with fire, isn't it, pal?
They crossed over from the spirit world to the mortal world very near the beginning.
Oh.
The Face Stealer. When you speak with him, you must be very careful to show no emotion at all. Not the slightest expression.
Oh good. Aang's wonderful at that.
Your face.
Talk about a face-to-face meeting. Huh.
You're like my sister. Everything always came easy to her. She's a fire-bending prodigy. And everyone
sister.
adores her. My father says she was born lucky. He says I was lucky to be born.
Your father sounds like a dick.
Prepare to meet your fate.
Well,
As I was saying,
that was an attempt.
years ago, the spirits are not to be trifled with. Yes, I know you fear the spirits, Myra.
That will be your undoing,
I've heard rumors
buddy.
about your journey into
You're just a curly-tailed blue nose.
That's quite disturbing.
No fear.
Oh, don't be a spider.
welcome.
That's horrible. My face would have been gone by now.
Been a long time.
You know me?
Cool design
How
though.
could I forget you?
One of your previous incarnations tried to slay me.
It's been a long time since I've added a child's face to my collection. So, how may I help you?
It's back, so I'm kind of interested in exactly how it takes the faces.
Your moon and ocean have always circled each other in an eternal dance. They balance each other, push
The
and
fish! Yin and Yang. Yeah, oh.
The koi fish.
Uh,
I must be going now.
we'll meet again. A friend is here to guide you back.
Hey, bye!
hey! They brought back the panda thing. Whoa. Huh.
And when we get there, we're going fishing.
That doesn't sound as badass as you think.
This is what
Good riddance.
Oh!
Momo,
Oh.
Oh no, where's my body?
Ah, I can lead them to... Ah,
That's gotta
good.
be Aang!
That won't be enough to escape.
But that might.
Here for a rematch?
Trust me, Zuko. It's not gonna be much of a match.
Yeah, look at all this snow around.
Hey,
That was easier than
this is
before.
some quality rope.
Wait, we can't just leave him here.
Yeah, he'd die.
Sure we can. Let's go.
No, if we leave him, he'll die.
Oh, the fish. Oh, no. So did they give up immortality to become fish? They thought they'd be like humans or something, and then they're just fish. And they're like, oh, fuck. Or blah.
Most babies cry when they're born. But I was born as if I were asleep, my eyes closed. Our
Oh.
healers did everything they could. They told my mother and father I was going to die.
Wow,
My
that's
father
dark.
pleaded with the spirits to save me. My dark hair turned white. I opened my eyes and began to cry.
Oh, that's why she's got white hair. Oh, okay. Okay, that's going to come into play somehow.
A legend now.
No idea how, but it will.
The Fire Nation of the Great Zhao who darkened the moon.
You put a fish in a bag, mate.
The Invincible! Get off!
Yes, Momo.
Whatever you do to that spirit, I'll unleash on you tenfold. Let it go now!
He bloody will. Oh shit. On the plus side, I bet that smells delicious. Oh, yes, I know. You little bitch. God, he's a badass, isn't he? Aww. Whoa! Oh. I talk about it all the time, but the colouring on this bloody show is so good. Whoa! I have no idea what's going on, but it sure looks cool. Oh,
You're alive?
You tried to have me killed!
yes! Take him down. Oh, I love how the fire's like showing a bit of colour again.
You have been touched by the moon spirit.
Yes.
Some of its life is in you.
Maybe I can give it back.
No! You don't have to do that.
It's my duty, Sokka.
Oh, give
I
it
won't
back.
let you. Your father told me to protect you.
I have to do this.
Oh man.
No! She's gone. She's gone.
Oh my god. That's actually quite sad though.
Goodbye, Sokka. I'll always be with you.
Well, I guess the wedding's off. Oh boy. Still trying to save him. Wow. I mean, fine then, bitch. He tried to save him like they saved him earlier.
He still needs to learn waterbending.
Well, then he better get used to calling you Master Katara.
She is bloody good.
I knew this day would come.
You must be proud.
So proud.
Oh.
And sad.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
that's
surprised, Prince Zuko. A man needs his rest.
Well, what comes
Airo
next?
is a traitor, and your brother Zuko is a failure.
Oh, it's his sister. Oh no. Right, well, hello season 2. Well, that is season 1 of Avatar The Last Airbender. We are a third of the way through. Well, just about. I think there are like 61 episodes overall, maybe. But we're basically a third of the way there. Book 1 is done, and I really enjoyed this finale. And they also gave me a lot of setup for the next season as well, which I was very intrigued by. So all the failures that have come about in the Fire Nation, Fire Lord has sent Zuko's sister after them, so I imagine she's going to be one of the bigger threats next season. And yeah, in terms of like, is Zuko still going to be like a big villain, like thwarting Aang and co? I don't know. But the fact that they're also bringing the sister into the mix makes me think maybe that could be a thing that brings them together. I have no idea though. Anything can happen. I mean, this episode alone, we had a panda spirit, we had a big fish spirity thing that drowned Jason Isaacs, we had fish being gods and a girl sacrificing her life to revive a fish. You know, the moon went red and it was bad, and oh dear. You can't predict what's going to happen in this show, really. We had a face-stealing, scorpion-y, centipede-y, spidery thing that was horrible. So, no point really speculating, is there? I'll just sit back, relax, and almost certainly enjoy what happens, because my goodness. Yeah, I really, really loved how they ended this off. Finishing the battle, you know, getting the spirit world involved, Aang learning what he needed to from there, and him returning to his body showed Katara and Sokka where to go and get him, which I thought was quite clever, how that all kind of came about. And yeah, some really kind of sad emotional moments in there as well, alongside some cool like action set pieces. I kind of figured like the first episode there was a lot of fighting, a lot of action, and this second part definitely had a bit more like character moments in there, which is what I was kind of hoping for, and they certainly delivered on. But we still also got some cool sequences and stuff, and the colouring in this episode, oh my goodness, like when they were like shooting fire at each other, you know, just a bit of colour against the black and white, and then like the red kind of shading on everything as well. It's like, oh, so good. I've been constantly impressed with that in particular about the show. It's one of my favourite aspects of it, I guess. And the show just looks so beautiful all the time, like their imagery and everything like that. So yeah, we had some really cool stuff with that, and like the Zuko and Zhao fight near the end. It made sense actually that I know it wasn't really Zuko who stopped him, it was the big fish watery thing, which again I wouldn't have predicted. That would be how Zhao met his maker. Well, I assume he's dead. I assume he drowned. He was just like taken under the water and glug glug glug, I would imagine. I mean, there's room for him to come back, but I feel like we've got rid of him now. And I feel like he did have his time as like a big, you know, threat. So yeah, how they wrapped up a lot of things while continuing the journey is actually very clever, because it almost doesn't feel like an ending to a season, yet it does. Like, Aang still hasn't like perfectly mastered waterbending yet, and that was kind of like the big thing of this season. He was trying to find somewhere where he could like master that. He still hasn't quite done that. You know, Zuko's still going to be an issue, the Fire Lord's still going to be an issue, you know. I think a lot of the Fire Nation did get away and everything. It's just like, well, the adventure continues, because that asteroid thing's still out there one day. And yet they somehow managed to make it feel like, oh yeah, this is definitely the close of a chapter now, this is the end of book 1. Just that kind of the scale they achieved with that. I think having some really emotional beats in there is what helped them really kind of sell that. So very impressively done, really. There's like a finale that almost doesn't feel like one. I think that's quite an interesting thing. So yeah, really enjoyed everything with it. And going through the spirit world was quite fun, discovering what he needed to do. and how I guess it's a big theme in the episode. It seemed to be like duty. Well, this whole two-parter really, because Aang, he was made to be the Avatar. He was kind of chosen to be in the end. He never asked for that, but he was, and we saw that insecurity in him in part 1. He's like, I'm just a kid. He can't do all this. He was kind of very quickly overwhelmed by everything, and then in this one, he showed when the time comes and he needs to actually knuckle down and do stuff, he can and is capable of doing some wonderful things, like not showing emotion to Ko and becoming big watery spirit thing. And his past successes has given him allies like the panda thing. I think that was a 2-part last time with the panda thing. And that then allowed him to be a guide back to his body and stuff. So that was all really well done. And just the spirit world itself I thought was very interestingly put together. Seeing Roku again, but just in the reflection. The arsehole monkey thing, who was just rude for no reason. I like the panda kind of showed him what for as well at the end. Just again, I think I mentioned before, like it feels like these areas in the world are so different and feel like they shouldn't fit together, and yet the way they present it and everything, it still feels like a cohesive world, which is very impressive. And I'd love to buy like a map or something of the entire world, if that's even a thing. And I think the spirit world is no exception to that, really. So I enjoyed everything going on with that. And the lore we were getting about the moon spirit, and exactly what that entailed, them giving up immortality to become fish. That was really fun, and then they tied that in to, I keep forgetting her name, which I feel bad about, Yue, and kind of dark kind of backstory we got with her, when born with her eyes closed and not crying. I was like, oh wow, that is dark and deep. But praying to like the moon spirit kind of revived her. That's why she had the white hair, and that part of the spirit that lived in her she could give back to revive it and kind of save the day. And in doing so, that kind of gave up her life, and she kind of became the moon spirit. That was really sad, actually, but beautifully done, I thought. The tragedy behind it and the bravery she showed, just that willingness, again, tying into the whole duty thing. Like, Aang didn't ask to be the Avatar, Zuko didn't ask to be born to the Fire Nation, and that is how he was raised. She didn't ask to kind of have to be saved by the moon spirit and revived and brought to life that way, really. And she felt duty bound to her people, and that's why she was going to marry that other guy who failed to do anything. And she just so quick to be like, well, I have to do this, bye. And gave up her whole last life to become a moon spirit, which is a big deal. And I like how the big backstory was the moon spirit kind of giving that up to be a physical part of this real world, and now it's kind of switched that around again. Someone who was part of the physical real world has decided to like give that up to become the moon spirit. So I like that kind of cyclical nature to that story, how the yin and yang fish kind of came back into it and they were like the two spirits. That was really cleverly done, and I like the symbolism of them like always going around in circles. I even made a comment about them just going around in circles in the last one. That was a thing, because of course they consider every single little detail in this show, which is so impressive. And I liked that. I feel bad for Sokka because it's a tough break. I feel worse for Yue and Yue's dad, but it's also, she did make that choice to do it. And, I enjoyed the scene with Sokka and her dad near the end when he said he was proud and sad. I thought that, again, it's bittersweet, I think, because they saved the day for now when she made this bold sacrifice and stuff, but she's still gone. And the fact that the dad had a vision of this and he was like, he knew this day was coming, that's probably why maybe he was like, yeah, you marry this guy, because he didn't seem like the nicest of people. Maybe he just knew tragically that it wasn't meant to last anyway. But yeah, I think the whole Yue thing was my favourite part of this finale. I thought it was really wonderfully set up early on, and then paid off in a really bittersweet, tragic way. I thought that was really powerfully done. And I was getting quite teary at the end when, Sokka and Yue's dad were just watching the moon, and her little goodbye to Sokka and everything, and like really sad stuff, but wonderfully done. So yes, we had that. We had Katara again, just kicking ass. And I like that she's just going to be training Aang now, because she's they showed it in the last episode, she's bloody good. Like, she's basically mastered water bending, and she's now going to be Aang's master for that, to allow him to master it as well, which I think is cool, because it gives a clear role for Katara to continue to play for the group going forward. Aang obviously just has this big ass journey because he needs to master all the other elements. I'm intrigued to see what Sokka's role else could be going forward as well. We've seen that he can make things, and he's very intelligent. He can put things together quite quickly, and he's very brave. And just marching into battle as he did in the last episode, he was so quick to sign up for it. But I wonder if this kind of tragedy I hope there's a bit of development for Sokka's character as a result of this. Is he going to not want to get close to people now? Is there going to be any real change for it? I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. But I liked that. I like that Appa got some hero moments, like saving Aang from Zuko, and their choice to also save Zuko as well, bring him back, not just leave him to die. And as much as they kind of hate him, and they reflect that, and that's kind of instilled in Zuko in a way, I think, that act, because even as much as he hates Zhao, when it came down to it, he still offered Zhao that safety, and Zhao is such a prick. He was like, nah, I'd rather die than be saved by you, which is quite damning in itself, but it felt right for Zhao. He wouldn't, he was talking about, they'll remember me as Zhao the blah blah blah, Zhao the fish killer, whatever, and to have been saved by the disgraced son of the Fire Lord, he wouldn't have wanted to be remembered for that. He'd rather just die in battle and that be his legacy, which is a fitting end for him, I thought. I like how they kind of handled all that, and he was brought down by just treating the spirits like crap and underestimating what they could do, and putting a fish in a bag. So I liked that. His actions truly did have consequences very quickly for him. So Zhao, pretty cool baddie, I thought. Definitely his own worst enemy and his own downfall in the end, which I kind of figured. I liked that arc for him, and it seems like he is dealt with. As sad as it is to lose Jason Isaacs and his wonderful voice, but there you go. And I also liked Iroh being an absolute badass, taking down some of those Fire Nation guys and threatening Zhao to be like, whatever you do to that spirit, I'll give back to you tenfold or whatever it was. That was a bloody cool moment. I loved him just fighting them all off like it was nothing. The secret badass that he was, revealing his betrayal, because that's what he needed to do in that moment. Now him and Zuko going off. Just go to Disneyland or something, I think they deserve a bit of a rest. It is great that you can root for two characters like that, even though they spent the entire season trying to kidnap Aang and just hand him over to the Fire Lord. But now, surely they're going to give up that, because the Fire Lord knows that they've been betrayed. Then there's nothing they can do now to even if they brought Aang to him, I don't think he'd be like, well, you're all forgiven, off you go. So exactly what Zuko and Iroh are actually going to do next should be really interesting. I'm excited for that. So I feel like their goals must have changed, so could they maybe join Aang and the others? That'd be great. That's kind of what I'm hoping for, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I liked everything with that. Zuko's frustrations. There's always something, I try and kidnap you, and now there's a bloody storm, so we can't make any progress. I liked his frustration with that. And when he was brought back and saved, he didn't then try and get at the Avatar again. He went straight for, to confront Zhao for the attempt on his life. Priorities there, I feel like. Again, his instinct there was to go against the Fire Nation, and a big part of the Fire Nation, a big leader in it, than his big goal that apparently he's all about, to capture the Avatar. So I think that kind of shows where Zuko's true intentions really can lie. And deep down, I think there is some good in him, as we saw with the Blue Spirit and stuff. So I liked everything with Zuko and Iroh, looking forward to more of that. And yeah, Katara being Aang's trainer and like master for waterbending will be cool. Don't know where Sokka's going to go in the wake of this tragedy, but everything with him and Yue, that whole kind of story was really beautifully told, I thought, and very tragic. And then I guess shout out to Ko for being the creepiest bloody thing I've ever seen. Love the idea that like if you show any emotion to it, it just steals your face, and the fact that we didn't really see how that process would happen. Thankfully, because that would have meant stealing Aang's face. Just like how the hell he like stores all the faces, like and they just inside. Is that like a projection? Oh, you don't want to think too hard about that creature, but it also tries to rile you up. That was really fun. Creepy as hell, like even the sound of it just scuttling around, and I thought whoever voiced it did a fantastic job of being really creepy. They had like Car vibes, I guess, from Jungle Book, the snake. Trying to like rile you up, get something out of you, very vindictive and manipulative. It was just a really creepy idea, a really creepy performance, and kind of design for that character. And it said, it did say, like he'll see Aang again. I don't know if that's just trying to be creepy to get a reaction from them, or we actually will see Ko again. But they were one of like the more memorable creatures for me in this whole first season. That was really creepy, in a good way. I liked how they brought that character to life. So that was really cool. And yeah, Appa getting his hero moment, Momo getting their hero moment as well, when they interrupted Zhao's big speech and made him look like a dick, which he is very good at doing himself, granted, was, rest in peace. But I like the moment, he had a little moment like that, that's cool. The fact that he just like stayed behind when Aang had been taken, he just wanted to remain with the fish. Maybe he wanted to eat them, but maybe there's a bit of mourning in there as well. So yeah, everyone I think got a big standout moment, and will continue to have those moments into next season. I'm so excited to see what they're going to do with it, and what element will be focused on next, I guess. He already mastered air, so it's not going to be like an air season, so it's going to be earth or fire, I would say. So we'll see when it's going to be. I'm excited. I loved this finale. I've loved this whole first season. So impressive. Like the character work they've achieved just in like 20-minute episodes is honestly astounding. Like the aesthetics of it all, the world building, the colouring of it, like just top tier. And like the cast as well, all really good stuff. Some of the storytelling, they've done amazing work with it, and I can't wait to see them continue to smash it, I imagine, with the next 2 seasons. But for now, that is season 1 of Avatar: The Last Airbender done. Thank you for all your support on these reactions. I know I kind of teased this way back when. I think it was nearly a year now since I posted the reaction to the first episode. It might have been even longer than a year now. I feel like I did it last summer, because it was like a Patreon request to do that, the first episode, and I put it to YouTube just to see how it would do. It did very well. I was like, well, I guess I will definitely save that to do a proper series when I have time later on down the line. And then, quite some time later, granted, here we are. And suddenly, in a flash, like 20 or so weeks have gone by and we're at the end of season 1. So yes, thank you for your support on these reactions. Glad you've been enjoying them. Hopefully you'll continue to look forward to them for season 2 and 3. I'm goddamn excited. So yeah, it's been great fun. I can't wait for the journey to continue. But until then, thanks for watching.